afternoon. What I would like to discuss here today is the records that we were able to discover and declassify during our search. By the end of this presentation, I hope everyone will have a better understanding of exactly what it is that we are releasing. The documents that we were able to locate and release can be divided into two categories. The first would be documents belonging to the Army's investigation into the original 1940 incident that was conducted in 1948. Second, we have records regarding the Manning Committee, or the House Select Committee, to conduct an investigation and study of the facts, evidence, and circumstances of the Katyn Forest Massacre. This committee was formed in September of 1951 and concluded their investigation in December of 1952. Most of the documents that we have declassified belong to record group number 319, records of the Army Chief of Staff. The majority of documents belonging to other record groups, such as those of the Department of State and the other armed services that were located and declassified, also fall into the two categories previously mentioned. Beginning in March of 1948, a detachment from the Army's 970th Counterintelligence Corps began an investigation into the Katyn Forest Massacre. This detachment was able to conduct interviews concerning the incident and collect valuable statements from several eyewitnesses. These included former German officers, such as General Gunther Blumentritt, who was Chief of Staff of the 4th Army, which originally captured the Smolensk area when Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941. Other German officers interviewed included the German commander of an SS battalion, who in 1943 was ordered to secure the road leading to Katyn and to only control vehicles that were not with the International Red Cross Commission. Polish and Soviet officers were interviewed too, including Polish prisoners of war who had been held by the Soviets. Statements were obtained from non-military personnel as well, including a Polish newspaper editor who conducted his own investigation into the murders in 1943, and a Soviet political prisoner who lived in the Smolensk area. One interesting document that was collected was a report titled Notes on Judiciary Investigation of the Katyn Murders by Dr. Rowan Martini, Deputy Prosecutor of the Special Criminal Court in Krakow. This report provided new information that was gathered by Dr. Martini in 1945 when he interviewed several eyewitnesses to the crime. Specifically, this report discussed who committed the murders, when they were committed, how many were murdered, and how they were executed. Many of the released documents show the Army's commitment to providing any records they could possibly locate concerning the massacre to the Manning Committee. The long list of transmittals and memorandums also show what they provided and when, detailing the long paper trail for evidence. Unfortunately, there was one report that went missing during the search for Katyn-related documents. It's become known as the Van Vliet Report. Lieutenant Colonel John Van Vliet was one of the captured officers who was taken to the murder site to witness the German investigation. On May 22, 1945, Van Vliet dictated a report for Major General Katyn, Assistant Chief of Staff of G2. According to General Bissell, a few days later on May 25th, he mailed this report to Brigadier General Julius Holmes, Assistant Secretary of the Department of State. The problem was that General Holmes did not, nor did anyone else in the State Department, ever received this report. Several of the documents being declassified discuss this issue and the fact that the report never surfaced from either Army's G2 staff or the State Department. There was one more document that proved difficult to locate, and that was an earlier report on the incident written in 1943. While the documents show that several of his reports were provided to the Manning Committee, one report by Army Colonel Henry Szymanski, specifically on the Katyn Forest Massacre, could not be found in a timely manner. The Navy, who was asked to search for this specific report, being that they had several of Colonel Szymanski's documents on file, replied in January of 1952 that they had searched for holdings, but that it could not be located. Eventually, this report was found, but only after an extensive search was conducted. Overall, even though G2 was having problems locating documents, the paper trail still shows an effort to supply the Manning Committee with what they were requesting, although it was not always in a timely manner. A document dated February 25, 1952 shows G2 apologizing for taking such a long time in identifying and forwarding documents to the Manning Committee. General Alexander Bowling wrote, "It is true that there has been delay in locating documents desired by the House Select Committee. to investigate the Katyn massacre. But this delay has not been caused by lack of effort or casualties. Rather, it is a result of the number and variety of subjects and the voluminous files existing in the Department of the Army, many of which are no longer under G2 scrutiny. In some instances, the Army could not provide the committee with documents due to their classification status. A document dated March 19, 1952, detailed how several documents could not be declassified or downgraded due to their sensitivity. When the Mann Committee concluded their investigation and issued their final report in December of 1952, the committee specifically mentioned Bissell and G2 in their conclusions. Item number 2 stated that the committee was sending their report and other documents to the Department of Defense so that they could determine if General Bissell needed to be punished. A document dated March 4, 1953 discussed whether General Bissell should be held accountable for his actions in handling the Van Vliet report, and if he were accountable, who should punish him, the Army or the Air Force, as General Bissell had transferred to the Air Force in 1948. In regards to G2, the concluding item of the Mann Committee states, this committee believes that the wartime policies of Army Intelligence, G2, during 1944 to 1945 should undergo a thorough investigation. Several newly declassified documents show that G2 discussed the possibility of being investigated and whether or not they should prepare for it. In a document dated January 23, 1953, G2 personnel received some friendly information from the Congressional Investigations Division that they should be prepared just in case an investigation was initiated. Several of the records also concern one Julius Epstein, a reporter who published a small case history in 1952 called The Mysteries of the Van Vliet Report. Epstein consistently wrote to G2 high-ranking personnel, such as Major General Alexander Bolling, to the Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, as well as to Van Vliet himself, in an effort to spur an investigation into what happened to the original Van Vliet report. Documents show G2 conducting background investigations on Epstein with the help of the FBI, CIA, and even the Office of Naval Intelligence to determine if he had any other motives. It should be noted that our search only produced records on the Katyn Forest Massacre. While we tried to locate documents discussing the other murder sites located in Minsk, Kiev, Kherson, Kharkov, and Tver, unfortunately nothing as of today could be found. Also should be noted that the original Van Vliet report could not be found either. In conclusion, the documents that the National Archives declassified show, if nothing else, the immense paper trail that was generated in the search for documents regarding the Katyn Forest Massacre and the role that Army's G2 played in providing those records. In the future, whenever any new classified materials have been discovered pertaining to the incident, they will be treated as high priorities. They will go through our expedited declassification review process, and if they are able to be declassified, they will be added to our art gallery and our finding aid so that they will be forever available for the public.